Okay, so I'm going to try and finish up this description for how to complete the bind-off edging of the Shadowplay mitts. I've knitted across the top of the mitt in the blue using the I-cord bind-off edging, and I'm getting to the last 2 stitches so we've got one last stitch that was the second stitch of the knit 3 at the end, and the last stitch, which is the third stitch of the knit 3 in the end, which again, as they were on the other side, it should be a double stitch because this one is actually in the seam. So we're going to knit those 2 together. So the first thing I'm going to do is slip the stitches back to this side again, and then proceed with a I-cord bind off. So knit 1, knit 2, slip 1 knitwise, slip this one knitwise, and this one actually is already on the needle knitwise from the way I picked it up, and I'm just going to knit 3 together through the back loop so that those 2 stitches become one. And now we're back again to these 2 stitches at the top that have been picked up from the edging of the garter stitch edging that I did. On this side there's only 2 stitches because I only did 4 rows of garter stitch. So before I do anything, I'm going to knit the first one and then slide them back again. So this is just normal I-cord bind off once you've picked up that stitch. So knit, knit, or sorry, slip, slip, and knit those 2 together. Again, the last stitch, I'm going to pick up a stitch in it. And these are a little bit loose because there's the ending of the yarn there. I'll tighten it up in a minute when I finish this row. And again, slip. This one looks like I've caught a bit of it again. Slip and then knit these 2 together. Okay, so that's the ending of the I-cord bind off along the top. But now we're going to go down the edge. So what we have to do is, before we get started, we're going to do 1 row of unattached I-cord before we carry on, just to make it go around the corner a little bit easier. And I'm actually going to slip it onto this needle in any case, just so that I have something to knit it off of. But I'm going to do only 3 stitches and not attach them. So again, knitting my first, second, third stitch, not attaching it. And now I'm going to start attaching it here to this stitch that's down the side. So I'm going to do an attached I-cord, slipping the stitches back, and attaching the first stitch. There we go. Nope, something's happened there. I'll try it again. So the first stitch is done. I'm going to slip it back again for the second stitch, and then we've got something else going to happen here. Okay, so I've now done 2 attached I-cord stitches with the first 2 stitches at the top of this, and now I'm going to knit 5 rows of regular I-cord, unattached I-cord. And I'm looking for my other DPN. However, I'll just slip them back onto here for the moment.